Okay, well, I've got an email about the use of amulets, and there are different sorts of amulets. And amulets actually something physical to protect you or to give you luck. But I've got my rings that are my amulets. This is a Batu Panchavarna, very interesting stone. 5 colors, Panchavarna. And this is also very famous Indonesian stone, it's the Batu Bacan. Batu Bacan. But you've got the batus to give you protection, but you also got some amulets like a little keris. This is a samar. I always have it with me. Little keris of samar. Samar mesem. And I've got some coins, some feng shui coins for positive, that attracts positive energy, and this is more for protection, you know, samar. It's not that simple that when you buy your lock on internet that it will work. You have to offer for the amulets, and if you offer to the amulet will offer himself to you. Well, there are a lot of different ways to make offerings. The basis of the offerings comes from the Nawasangha, the Indonesian Nawasangha. And I spoke about the Nawasangha already. You can also see it on Balinese keris, on the salute. That has also the 8 directions. But the Ganta also got the directions from the Nawasangha. And in the middle you see the lingam again, and the lingam represents Shiva. And if you look in this Nawasangha, you see Shiva in the middle. Brahma, Vishnu, Indra. Most people know Indra in Holland because there is a toko that's called Indra Jaya. And you can offer, for instance, air, fire, water, and earth. Air by incense. Fire by fire. Water, you see always in a Buddhist temple, you always see these kind of cups with water. Earth, you can use rice, uncooked rice, but I use gemstones because I cut rings, so gemstones. And in the middle for Shiva, you use the sound of the Ganta that also represent the center. But if you look closely, then you can see that you see a lot of colors. You see the color white, red, yellow, and black. You can also do it in flowers. And if you make offering out of flowers, I bought some flowers. And you can see white, red, yellow, but black is difficult because black flowers doesn't exist. And this is purple to black. So I use these leaves for the offering. And in the center, you've got actually the 3 gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, excuse me. You can use that by using a piece of banana with some uncooked rice, and this is from the siri leaf. You know siri? When they put it in the mouth, the siri. So I'm going to make a simple way of making offering. I make the small one, the chepper, and I make a big one. And let me show you the small one. The smallest one is actually quite simple. You make a square piece, then you take a leaf, just like that. You cut it out, you fold it together like this, and you attach it just here. Now let Now you've got a chapel, and for a chapel it's quite simple. You can put a ring on it or one of the amulets and put the flower leaves inside here. And for the flower leaf, it's simple. You take just a little flower from each color, like this. Beautiful fresh flowers. Just like this. You put it here. You've got what we call a chapper. It's a very small way of making an offering. Personally, much nicer to make an offering is if you try to create the Nawasanga like this. What you need is 4 longer pieces. It's very important that you cut out the center, because otherwise it will break, because this is hard. And what you see right now is that you've got 4 straight pieces of leaf. Well, what I always like to do is make it a little bit more even. Like this. So they're almost the same size. The last one. And then it's quite simple. You attach them in the center. So you make 2 crosses out of it. This is the first one. This is the second one. Let me make a little bit more smaller over here. There we go. And then what you do, you attach it like this, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 8. The 8 sides of the Nawasanga. Go here. That's quite simple. You fold it back. Back here. Back. This is actually the traditional way to make a chalang, but there are different ways. You can make a square chalang, round, and of course you've got people. I've seen the most beautiful flowers, but especially some females are artists in making beautiful chalang. I'm not a specialist. I just want to do it as correct as possible to make my offering The offerings, I place them not only on Selasa Kliwon, because that's what we're talking about, but also Jumat Kliwon. But you can also use them for Tumpak Landet. You know, there are different occasions in where you can use the chanan. Also, in some periods of time, you know, I take it very seriously and I make my offerings every day. And this is the simplest way, the easiest way to make an offering. And then I try to follow the sides of the Nawasanga. So we've got white. I'll do the white. Let me wait. Let me do the white over here. And we've got the red. Let me put the red over there, bottom. Now we've got the yellow. Let me put the yellow over here. And again, this is the offering I make for the Selasa Kliwon. Most people only know the Jumat Kliwon, but Selasa Kliwon is more for connection, for love, things like that. And I always take the Jumat Kliwon and the Selasa Kliwon. Now I take the black flowers, I put them on top. Just like this. You see, now I've got the colors white, red, yellow and black. In the center I put the banana leaf with the uncooked rice and pieces of the leaf from the, how you call it, siri leaf. And you can put it, for instance, with your keris, like this. So you've got the small one over here with my batu bacan. I can make an offering over here with another ring, or for instance a keris. I made all the 8 sides of the Nawasanga, the colors of the Nawasanga, and just a simple way of making an offering. And again, let's try to keep the traditions alive, you know. I will not do everything perfect, but I do it. And just like sports, you can talk about sports, but you have to do it. Only when you do it and make mistakes and start working with it, then you get skills. And if you've got skills, it's very easy to make an offering. And if you make a chapter, quite simple, or the more complex chanan, well, check YouTube and you will see that this is nothing. I've seen some women very fast, they do it on a daily basis. They make the most beautiful way of making the offerings. But you know, this is the best basis. I think if you follow these instructions, you can start. And there is a very old Asian saying that says, art begins where copying stops. So it's no shame to start copying, because if you know what you're doing, that's the point where art begins. Well, thank you for listening to this very short movie.